Thank you. Good to see you, Delaney. Good to
Yeah.
see you.
And
Yeah.
we are here for another episode of Unfiltered Women's Voices. This is
Yeah.
my dear friend and
Yeah.
patriot here on this adventure, Stella Kokoyo. And I am Delaney. And today, a favorite topic of mine, and I think yours too. Would that be?
Yes, that is very, very true. So we welcome you again. Fantastic topic. Choice. Ooh, it vibrates high
It,
up there.
there is
Choice.
so much power in it. I don't know about you, but there were times in my life when I honestly didn't realize that I had as much choice as I really did. I thought I was constrained by circumstances at different and it's happened more than once at different times in my life where I have felt very much that choice was not available to me, or the choices that I wanted were not available to me. And that wasn't really true. What about you with that? Did you have the same kind of experience or a different perception?
Exactly, just the same as you. I didn't think that choice was exactly always real. Like we have a choice in the way we think, the decision we make. And yes, and a lot of people still believe that they don't have choices.
Mm.
And really also what I didn't know is the power in making that choice. Um, that bit I really, really didn't know, even from a spiritual perspective. I didn't know how powerful choice is.
Mm.
And yeah, but over time it has changed, and more recently, really, I've understood what choice and how powerful that word is in real terms.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that I think links really strongly with choice. One of my teachers who taught me a lot of stuff was very much into that the power of curiosity and asking questions opens you up to different possibilities. Then you can choose. And from that choice, you get more awareness about what it is you want to be doing, who you really are, what really aligns with what you want to, how you want to be living your life. And so for me, that curiosity and the ability to ask questions without necessarily having to have an answer come straight away. Just that, okay. And sometimes I'll say things like, okay, universe, show me something beautiful so that show me something beautiful so that I can see a different possibility. What else is possible here? To change my frame, because I think that ability to ask a question and change the frame of how you're viewing what is possible opens you up to a whole myriad of choices. Sometimes we think there's only one choice or we're limited, and yet there is a whole universe of possibilities. And it can
That's
sound very airy fairy, but it's very true. Once we open up our perspective to
mm,
curiosity, get in with our imagination and that connection
mm.
with source, it all unfolds a very different landscape of creation. Would you agree?
100%, definitely, definitely. The power of asking questions, for me, it's also apart from knowing it, is seeing it when I interview women for the Stellar Woman magazine. Like Sharon Lechter asked, why not? And that's how she went into entrepreneurship. Just that question vibrated differently through her. And the next thing, she's a top successful woman, a multi-millionaire. But just because she was an accountant and asked, she felt like she needed to go into entrepreneurship. And that was the question she asked. Another woman asked, what is the worst that could happen to me? And
Yes.
that's because she was also scared of going into business. She was going to in partnership, and she had been offered this partnership with someone else for a long time. She kept being scared and she didn't want to go into it. And the next minute, she just asked that question, what is the worst that could happen? And boom, she moves.
Yeah.
So there is really power in that. And for me to do my bungee jump, I ask myself, if not now, when?
Yes.
And because of that, I had to do it then because
Yeah.
I knew now was better. That was the answer that was vibrating then.
Yeah.
That otherwise I'm going to put it off. So I had to do it now. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is that opening up from each of those stories is about that opening up from where you were. I know for even me personally, I was in that victim role for so many years in my earlier years and thought I was bound by the things that had happened to me, and therefore my perception of the world and who I could be, and I could never be who I really wanted to be,
Mm-hmm.
And then as my life has opened up, I got to experience amazing things and meet extremely successful people who were doing wonderful things, and realized they liked me. They liked communicating with me. And so I got to then see that I was not who I thought I was. I was not limited by my past. And so that, and I think what you're saying there, that thing of being inspired by people, the choices you make about who you connect with, who you hang out with, who you spend your time with, who you listen to, who you read, all of that, all those choices add up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They keep
Mm-hmm.
adding up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that thing of when we're willing to choose for ourselves, I think this is when the really amazing stuff in life happens, when we have that courage. Make a
Mm-hmm.
choice
Mm-hmm.
to be willing to look at ourselves with radical self-responsibility, radical
Mm-hmm.
truth speaking to ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Powerful words there, really powerful words. Um, the radical truth, but also the word courage. And I think choice also has that in its vibration. It involves being courageous as well to make choices that empower you, that move you in the right direction. Especially if we are changing, we have to make a choice. And you talked about curiosity. All of these are capital C words. They're not actually simple C words. They seem to be capital C: curiosity, choice, courage. They really have a capital at the beginning because they're powerful words.
Yeah.
And the more we become curious, the more we are courageous, and the more we understand that there is power in choice, the more we move towards our greatness, the more we become that amazing stellar woman, because you are understanding the power of choice. Otherwise, you remain the victim, like you talked about your own story. You can easily remain a victim. And I have played a victim as well, until you understand that there is now something important. There's a way you need to choose how to live your life and be.
Yeah. And I see that in a lot of people I work with too, who are in the earlier part of it, they resist realized that they actually have that much power to keep choosing, to choose what they're thinking, to choose the actions that they're taking, to choose consistency, to choose really everything that aligns with what they say they want. And I can recognize it in myself, but it's just been this wonderful journey of really watching how it affects everybody, because it's diverse. It's across the board, this thing where we dull ourselves down, where we don't step into our greatness, where we're not being the stellar women that we want to be. But we have to make the choice again and again and again, because it never stops. There isn't a magic button, and there isn't an ending to this story.
No. And you've hit so many things there. And I hope all of those listening can be able to capture them. And one of them is the things we listen to, the people we have conversations with. And sometimes that's the change that needs to happen in terms of your choices. You have to just choose new people who are going to enable you to step up, beyond what you thought you would. People who are going to challenge your thinking.
Yes.
People who are going to challenge your decision making.
Yeah.
We have to choose those people as well, so that we can become more than we thought we would, so that we can discover our full potential and be able to utilize it.
Yes. Very, very true. You know, when I did drugs and alcohol, and there came this point, and I knew there were many things that happened leading up to it, and I knew I had to stop or I would die. I literally knew that. Most people around me had no idea what I was doing most of the time. I hid it very, very well. Yeah.
Wow.
But at the time, I was in the a music scene and creatives, and not that everybody was like that, but I had a core of people that I partied with, and I played music with, and I had projects going with. But when I came to that moment, I had to walk away from them. I didn't hate these people. I loved these people. These people were good people. They were just living a life that was not for me. And I actually had to tell them that I was doing this, because we were very close and we saw each other all the time. And I just say, I don't want to be doing this anymore. I have to say goodbye.
Wow. That's so much moving to your greatness. Wow, that's powerful. Making such a choice to take that decision and move forward. Wow.
Exactly. And I'm telling that because anyone here listening who has struggles with that, or if it's just people that aren't good people, that you keep resonating with people that don't cheer you on, that actually if you make a step forward they're trying to pull you back. If you're living a life and that's happening to you, just know that you do have a choice, and sometimes you literally have to walk away. And that is that's not weakness. That is the only way to claim your life and to claim you in that. And it can be tough to make that choice and do it. But on the other side of that, there is always more. And I can tell you very quickly, it was incredible what happened. Some of the musical projects that I got involved in from there that were incredible and really enriching for me as a human being. It wasn't like it all disappeared, so making one choice might close some doors there, but it doesn't mean that all doors are closed. A whole heap of other possibilities open up. Yeah. And then
Exactly. and new ones and better ones. And yeah, but thank you for giving us, opening us up to the bit of your story that seemingly is dark, but it's showing your power, your ability. And if you can, any person can look and say, if Delaney can, so can I. And that sometimes is also power, just clipping onto someone's story, someone's inspiration, and holding on to that. If you don't feel it within you, you can just listen out to what Delaney's just shared and just say, she did that. Yes, she did. And she's just like you. So therefore, you too can make that shift. If you can ask her, if you find it hard, you can reach out and ask,
Yeah.
how did you do that? What was your starting point? And most likely she'll share with you that bit that can help you also start to leap up and start to move towards the better you that we are looking for here
Yeah.
during these conversations.
Yeah, totally. I think this is such a big topic. We could definitely do more than one call. This is like an opening conversation about
Yeah,
choice.
yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think?
Choice is a big one. There are times when I have to choose how I think. The real Stella wants to think this way, and it means, so for example, someone has let me down, and the real Stella wants to really be angry and hold on to that. That's the real Stella. Yeah, that's what she would do. She would typically hold on to that and really make it like, yeah, it's something. But then you ask yourself, how good is that for the totality? How good is that? And and you find that sometimes someone is your sister, sometimes someone is your best friend, sometimes it's your mother, it's your brother, your husband, and you want to hold on dearly onto this grudge or this small thing. Sometimes it's big, okay. Sometimes it's big, it's huge in your mind, in your thinking, it's huge. But actually, there's a choice. There's still a choice, even in that moment, to hold on to that or to actually let it go and find a new way of thinking about it, because there's actually another way of saying it. And sometimes we haven't listened out to the people. Sometimes we haven't just changed the perspective, the angle in which we are seeing it, and make a shift a little bit somewhere. You might find that there's a new opening in you to actually start that relationship again. You can ask them what happened, and you might be blown away that actually it's a good explanation. And
Yeah.
holding on to it wouldn't have led to where you're heading. And maybe then your relationship can go even higher than stopping wherever you had stopped it. So sometimes the choice is in there, in our belief system, in our attitude, in the things we've done always and felt that that's us, that's how we're supposed, we feel like we are entitled to hold on to something. But there's a choice to make a change in that way. Yeah, it's
Oh,
always a
yeah.
choice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And because we are all experiencing life through our
Yeah.
own lenses. This
Mm.
is the reality. This
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
reality.
Mm. That's very true. Very,
Yeah.
very true. And it's a good reflection for all of us to keep thinking. Does
Yeah.
that empower me? Maybe there are questions, Delaney, you might want our listeners to ensure that they actually use, maybe questions or tasks that they can use to see how they can loop out and make empowered choices.
Yeah. Just thinking about what you were talking about then, a couple of really great questions. Who am I being? If
I
I'm
love that.
throwing a
Who am I
tantrum,
being?
if who am I being?
Powerful.
And sometimes it'll come. I'm being my mother. I'm being a 5-year-old, you know, who's running the show
The
financially,
show.
in irresponsible spending or something. It's the 5-year-old. It sure as hell ain't me. You know what I mean? It's like, who am I being in this situation? And also, what am I choosing here? And if we look at the world outside, what's going on and the divisiveness and the turbulence. And I was doing a live in my private group today and just saying, we actually have to learn how to communicate and not have to agree on everything.
We
This
don't.
thing of I'm over here and you're over there and we're just going to yell shit at each other, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to get us through what is here and what's coming. We actually need, so who am I being and what am I choosing? What am I choosing in this moment and what do I want to create? It's actually, that question can be right for this split second and it can be as big as you want it to. So what about you? What are you going to give people to?
I first of all, can you go back to that last question? In this moment?
In this moment, what am I choosing?
In this moment, what am I choosing? I love it.
Yeah. And who am I being?
Who am I being?
Yeah.
Yes, I love them. I love the questions because they're really shifting questions for our mindsets and in the end, our behavior and our results, the things we shall evaluate after that moment of making the choice, because after that exact moment, you start to get your results.
Yes.
That's the thing about choice. Your results start to happen. Yes, I really liked I liked all of those questions. I was just anchoring onto that last one as well. Yeah, so because of the expansion, to what greater good is this?
Lovely.
Yeah, so I just feel like that is also another way of taking it. So for your immediate results, it might not exactly show you, but actually when you take it to the wider good, you might find that you have to change.
Yes.
You have to make change in your choices.
Yeah.
Especially you use the word tantrums when we are in that tantrum mode.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? Because as soon as when you were talking about that and you mentioned partner, and I think about the times where I'm like, yeah. And even if I'm not, like I haven't said anything out loud, or I might be in a different room and I'm like, and it's like, really, who are you being? Like,
and sometimes
what is that?
it's good to look into yourself. Sometimes you really enjoy this character. It is.
Yes.
We can be interesting characters in those states. They're
We sure can. We sure can. So I reckon we've got to end it there today.
Yes,
I would
fantastic.
definitely love to return to the topic of choice. I think we can go a little bit further with that next time.
Somehow the volume went down. Were you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my volume went down and I was just hearing a little bit of it. Yes. So what were you saying? Sorry.
I was saying that next time, let us return to the topic of choice, part 2.
Yeah. Choice part 2. Love it. Love it. This has been amazing. It has actually rejuvenated me. Very good.
Great. Excellent.
Really
Thank you all
appreciate it.
for being here. Thank you for watching. And we look forward to more with you in the future as we build this adventure together.
Very good. So yeah, stay tuned to Unfiltered Women's Voices. It's me, Stella Olivia, Creative Stella Woman, and my dear friend here, Delaney, Flies to Greatness. Yay! Thank you. Until next time, we love you. We love you so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.